I recorded a lot of audio this week. I got the impulse to just record my intentions for my channel, which I've not yet really done. All I've uploaded so far is edited videos from Eric Hecker, and I'd like to thank Eric Hecker for giving me permission to do that. We didn't quite see eye to eye on certain issues. I did try to reach out to Eric, and unfortunately, um, let's just say it could have gone better, but we'll leave it at that. But yeah, it's just me recording several different audio passages over a number of days this last week. I just felt the inspiration to do that, and it's just my intention, announcing my intentions for the channel, what my channel's about, what I'm currently doing, talking about the evidence that I have, all the large volume of evidence which I'm editing through, and I began editing in all seriousness just at the tail end of last week or so in December. I started in earnest, so I've just started editing last few weeks through lots and lots of videos. I've got through quite a large volume already, but there's still quite a large volume to get through. So at the same time, I'm an independent researcher, and which is to say I'm not paid for what I research. It's just me voluntarily decided to just become a researcher of antiquity and ancient Earth. So we're talking about geology and myths and kind of marrying the two together. And that's my kind of MO. As far as my research goes, is marrying up all the myths and legends, so-called myths and legends from history, throughout history, and all the ancient texts, and then trying to make a connection with what I see geologically from various videos, and that can be a broad range of videos: diving, caving videos, hiking videos, aircraft from what they can see from above, Google Maps, all kinds of stuff, just merging it together and trying to marry up and make some kind of sense and connection between all that. So that's something I started a few years ago. I've always been interested in myths and legends and mythological tales. And then in recent years I started realizing that there were a whole load of texts, ancient texts, that some of which have been recently discovered. So that really tickled my interest, and I found that a lot of these texts were downloadable in PDF form. So I've got loads and loads of PDF of ancient texts and legends and myths and all kinds of very interesting stuff that I'd not ever heard of before until I started my research. So yeah, I have my research running parallel alongside my editing. So that's what I'm up to at the moment. Is basically I do my research where I can, but I've kind of thrown myself into editing my material now because it needs to be edited, and it's about time I started. So that's what I began doing in real earnest at the tail end of last year, maybe the last week in December of 2023. So just a video which is audio of me announcing my intentions for my channel and explaining a few things about what went on in 2023, because I think that needs to be related, and also talking about, I have a few videos posted up, personal videos, but that by no means represents, that's just a very small fraction of what I have, very small fraction of what I have in terms of evidence. And I just felt I needed to get those particular videos uploaded to my channel to make people aware of what the hell's going on, what happened early last year, just after I created my YouTube channel Targeted World, and also just after I had uploaded Eric Hecker's videos in edited form around February, March, and then something happened which was very strange indeed, just weeks after that. I'd finished uploading those videos, and just weeks after I'd created the channel. It's going to be quite lengthy, so you might have to it might be a bit of a toil to listen to it all. If you can listen to it in parts, that's great. But if you can get a sense of what my channel's about, that might help you. It certainly helps me to get that across to people, so that they realise that I am a genuine targeted individual and I have much to relate, lots of evidence, and I need to get that out. If YouTube's not the correct medium for me to do that, then I will seek other sources. They kind of funny about agendas, so I'll make a decision on what I want to upload it onto, so that it can remain on there, rather than be taken down by YouTube, because it's not agreeable to their requirements for what they believe people should be posting up to YouTube. But you know, this is my experiences. It's valid, and there's no real reason why, as long as I don't name drop and reveal who these people are, then you know, there should be no issues. Also, what I wanted to do was, partly thanks to Eric Hecker, he gave a nod to my channel last year, not long after I'd finished uploading all the videos that I'd edited from his channel. He gave me the kind permission to do that, and I appreciate that. But what I wanted to do was, you know, I got quite a rapid increase in subscribers once he'd given me that nod from his channel. So I presume that a lot of people from his channel who were followers from his channel then checked my channel out and subscribed subsequently. So thanks to Eric for doing that, but thanks to all the people who did subscribe. And if you are genuinely targeted, or you deem yourselves to be targeted individuals, thank you to those people for subscribing to my channel, and I hope that you can extract information and certain details concerning targeting and gang stalking that you might not have been aware of. And if that's the case, that's fantastic, because that's my mission objective, is to put out. That's why I started with Eric, is because it chimes a lot with my experiences, a lot of the stuff that he related in his own material, and it chimed a lot and it resonated with me. That's why I began with Eric. I thought the first person I really ever came across on YouTube who had some really solid information about the nefarious stuff that's going on in the world. And it chimes a lot with my experiences. So I thought, yeah, I'll start with Eric Hecker. Hopefully I can get permission, and I got that permission, and that was fucking fantastic. And then I set about editing his videos once I'd obtained that permission, and just made them kind of. I think Eric described it as making it more listenable. I don't necessarily agree with that, but just making it a little more easier to kind of digest the information. So I extracted information from his videos that I felt resonated with me, and just left out the stuff that maybe wasn't so relevant for me, but it could be relevant to other people. But for me, it wasn't relevant. So that's why I wanted to edit his videos, because I just wanted to get directly to the core of what resonated with me, and include that. And that's what I did. So I uploaded 39 of Eric's videos. Then the weird shit really started happening, and throughout 2023, I was getting targeted, and at times it was absolutely diabolical targeted. And I'm talking about blatant responsive targeted to what you're doing, to what you're saying, to what you're reading, to what you're listening to. All throughout 2023, just reached the passage where I'm talking about my cousin's death, and I just arrived at that about 20 minutes in. Switched focus from talking about my research, etc., and then I started talking about Kerry's death just after I uploaded Eric's videos, and I've just been targeted to the heart. The very first moment I mentioned, I was just sat there listening, and at the very first moment I was listening to my commentary on the video I'm currently editing, and that was basically, I was talking on about Kerry's death and the Facebook conversation, and the very first moment he told me about his heart attacks. As soon as that played, just a few moments ago, played a few moments ago, and I was listening to it, sat there listening to it, instantly targeted to the heart. and my urban exploration and all my research and my targeting evidence. Just been talking about that at length in a sequence of videos, just as and when I get the impulse to do that over the last few days. So I just did the last of those today, recorded the last of those today when I got some more ideas of what I could say. So basically I've been editing all afternoon for the last 3 hours or so, I think since around 3 o'clock, so almost 3 hours of editing. I've only got through 20 minutes of a 4 hour, that's a lot of videos combined together, and I'm editing through them, and they're all kind of like joined on from the previous one. So just recorded over several days, and they've just been placed all together in Movie Maker so that I can edit through them and just create one presentable file for YouTube, which is basically announcing my intentions and just talking about what's been going on last year particularly. So I've just been listening to a passage of audio in which I start talking about Kerry. Just moving on to Kerry's death. The first part is just talking about all my evidence and all the stuff I have, and talk about Eric Hecker. So I've just been talking about Kerry, just began talking about him, about the conversation we had with Kerry on Facebook, and I was targeted to the heart. I'm going to stop it at the point I was targeted to the heart. So I'm just going to play it from this point here.
So we chatted, and then suddenly he drops it on me that he's had some heart, he's had 4 heart attacks, and this is something.
So as soon as I say that, and as I was listening to that just a few moments ago, and listened to that passage, as soon as that was mentioned about me talking about the heart attacks on the commentary that I'm editing, as I hear it live now, I was targeted to the heart instantly, no delay whatsoever. Don't try and tell me that's natural, and don't try and convince me it's not external targeting through surveillance, because there is nothing more blatant than that happening. I mean, I should be targeted to the heart. I think something happened to my heart, like a pulse attack to my heart. I'm sat there listening to my audio talking about Kerry's, the conversation between myself and my cousin Kerry, and the moment he mentioned about the heart attacks, the 4 heart attacks, which at the time I knew nothing about, and that's key to this. That's key to this whole conversation thing, and why suddenly I got the impulse to contact Kerry. So I touch more on that in other videos, so I won't discuss that at length in this. So this is just a video talking about my intentions for this channel, and also just to thank all the people who subscribed so far. I think there's 130 currently. I am not all about subscribers. If people subscribe to the channel, fantastic. I am more concerned with people just watching the videos, getting the information, and if they don't want to subscribe, that's their choice. If they do want to subscribe, great. Everything I say is not done to a script, so and in any videos I present uploaded from my own personal files, nothing's done to a script, whether it's commentary or nothing at all. I prefer to edit out stuff rather than work to a script. So editing, I will do a lot of editing afterwards, and I edit stuff out and edit passages that I don't feel are relevant or very, very clearly presented by myself. So that will all be edited out, but never do I work to a script, and that's important for me. Subscribers, great. Liking videos, great. I'm not really all that interested in all that business. My only objective is to get information out and share my experiences and get my evidence out, which I've never had an opportunity to do, and hopefully set the record a little bit straighter than what it's currently set at, and hopefully people can get a good sense of my intentions for the channel. But yeah, thank you for all people who subscribed. That's great. Thank you. Just gonna announce my intentions for my YouTube channel, Targeted World. I'm going to upload quite a large volume of videos which have been hanging around for years. A lot of them are recent, but a lot of them go far back to good 10 years. So been a lot of videos I've been editing recently, and also still a lot to do from just last year alone. So just getting through them at the moment. I've edited quite a lot, and I'll probably put in quite a large number out in succession. over the next few weeks while I also continue editing as well. A bit about my channel. I've noticed, I've had a look on YouTube. I used to check out what was going on with other people in terms of targeting, and what I used to find was a lot of the channels were either just people saying, oh, that person's wearing pink shoes and that person's wearing pink shoes, and look at them all, they're all wearing pink shoes, they're targeting me. And it might be the case that the person's being targeted just because all these people are wearing pink shoes or whatever colour shoes, just like a uniform colour of shoes. But if you're trying to convince the neutral that this is their reality, that they are being targeted on the basis of people wearing the same colour clothing or jackets or shoes, whether it's shoes, jackets, or even there's videos out there where people film the traffic around them and they say, look at all them black cars that have just gone by, look at that guy, that car without the headlights. I'm not dismissing the headlight thing, because I think there's a strong case for it. But if you're trying, it's the same again, if you're trying to convince the neutral that this is targeted, even though it might be genuinely targeting, gang stalking activity, you can't prove it one way or the other, and it's just not going to lead to anything. So that's what I try to avoid now, and I've noticed there's a lot of channels like that. There are some genuine channels out there on the topic of targeting and gang stalking, but they're few and far between. I've actually left comments on some channels just saying, I don't doubt what you're saying. You're claiming that you're being targeted and all these people in your community are wearing like the same colour clothes and shoes and etc. But there's little point in showing these videos, because you're not going to convince anybody. You're not going to convince the neutral, and that's important. Yeah, you might get people commenting on your channel and agree with you who are also fellow targeted individuals, saying, oh yeah, there's some great videos there, but they're not great videos. It doesn't prove nothing. It proves absolutely nothing, and it's just, at the end of the day, it's not really helping. And there are also, by the same token, there are also a lot of channels out there that are just shills, and they're basically fake targeting channels, and they're just people taking the piss. And on both accounts, it's not helping. It doesn't help the cause. Not that it's not a cause. It doesn't help where people are trying to convey their experiences and what they're experiencing in terms of targeting and gang stalking. When you've got people who are putting out what just amount to being crappy videos that don't prove nothing, and then also, but at the same time, you've got people who are producing fake channels, trying to mislead people and just taking the mickey, but passing it off as though it's genuine. And there are some channels out there. I won't name them, but there are definitely channels like that out there. My channel is genuine. I'm a genuine target individual. I don't like the term, and nor do I like the term gang stalking. So I try to avoid using those words, but and that's why I didn't use the word targeted individual in my channel title. I chose to use the word targeted world, because it is becoming a targeted world, whether people are aware of it or not. A lot of people aren't aware of it. There are a lot of people who are targeted in the world, around the world. How many of them actually contribute to their own YouTube channels and put out evidence that's good, that we're not seeing, that can kind of override this kind of BS and low quality, unconvincing material that people are kind of uploading? That's just not helping the cause at all. How many genuine targeted individuals are out there who could put out some good evidence for you to see, but they probably don't. So hopefully I'll be able to do that. That's my aim. I know I have actually got some really good evidence. That I'm not going to The one thing you won't see is me filming myself and showing myself, because I'm not very photogenic and I don't like that kind of limelight. I have enough of that anyway. You won't see me in the videos, but you'll hear my voice and you'll hear my commentary, for various reasons. And one, I don't want shills to come onto my channel and post comments and start causing trouble and creating mayhem on my channel. I just want people to see the evidence, and I'll give descriptions of what's going on, and either you as a neutral, either you dismiss it or you just you continue watching my material. That's fair enough. But yeah, I don't want people coming along to my channel and posting comments, and I find myself having to constantly delete stuff, so that won't be happening. So I've shut off comments. It would be nice to hear from other target individuals and their responses and their opinions. But again, I wouldn't have time for the feedback because I'm very busy right now with the editing. So just not enough time free to be able to do that. But if I could just have all people who were genuinely targeted individuals posting comments, maybe that'd be different. But you don't know who's genuine and who's not. So best just to shut the comments off and just let people view your material, and let that do the talking. So yeah, I'll just pause this now, and I'll actually give a visual and just show what kind of evidence, what volume of evidence I actually have that I'm working on. It's not all evidence that I'm editing currently, but I'm editing kind of like a mixture of evidence, and also I've got myself in a little bit into urban exploration recently, starting last year. Started filming some videos, so I'm going to have another channel running separately running parallel to the targeting channel. And what you'll find is that in them videos, that the urban exploration videos, which is basically a lot of cycling, particularly at night time, they do contain, as I'm editing, sometimes I discover stuff that I didn't actually hear, because I do wear headphones when I'm out and about. Just to drown out any of the bullshit that you have to put up with. So I only discover them during the editing process afterwards, maybe like months later, and then I notice, oh god, yeah, I didn't hear that at the time. So I edit that out of the Urbex videos, but I'm kind of retaining those passages of footage, and then I'll be putting them onto the targeting channel. So they will be basically extracts from Urbex videos in which there are evidence of targeting, but I don't want to include that when I put them out onto the Urbex channel. It's just going to be purely urban exploration and me just filming my journeys around, out and about, on bike, etc. Hiking videos, without all the bullshit that people try to insert into it. Because they want their egos massaging, so they think that I'm going to go and then put their noise and bullshit into the video, which I'm not going to do. So I'm going to show the actual volume of evidence I have now. All the evidence I have is stored on this external hard drive, which was the first one I acquired. Only 1 terabyte though, so not sufficient enough to contain all the material I need to get on there. So what I did, I then purchased I think it's between 4 and 5 terabytes. I think it is a Seagate. I think they're both Seagate, I'm not sure. Yeah, they're both Seagate. So yeah, all my evidence will be extracted, or is being extracted, from these two devices, and that's the Seagate 1 terabyte external hard drive. That is pretty much full, not much space left on that. And then I have this larger device here, which is a box-like external hard drive. So I'll just check how much storage was on there. There's not much actually left now, so because I've got a load of like Urbex videos that I've filmed and etc. and my research. So yeah, capacity 5.45 terabytes, so I think it was initially purchased as a 6 terabyte storage device, and there's only 278 gigabytes remaining, so all that is taken just over 5 terabytes of containing evidence, and also on my research. So on that video is my ancient research folders, edited videos, and that's what I'm working on currently right now. Stuff from Eric Hecker, a lot of Eric Hecker's videos which I've still yet to work through and edit. I think I've edited most of those actually. They're not the videos I need to edit. So, and then you've got targeting. These are all targeting. This is all my evidence. Not too far off 1 terabyte of evidence. So 890 gigabytes currently on the larger external hard drive of targeting, and then there's some also on my desktop which needs to be transferred over. And my ancient Earth research. So this contains all manner of stuff that I've acquired. A lot of it just like screen captures from hiking videos, caving videos, diving videos. Because there's only targeting evidence on there, and also the rest of it is my research, so it's going to be well over 4 gigabytes for my research. So currently, this is another reason why I can't afford to reply to people's comments. So I'm also busy with my research, and then also at the same time, I'm also editing videos, editing material that I've filmed. This is what I'm working on currently. So I'm working on my editing. These are all videos from editing. Yeah. Conversations with cousin Zoe, cycling, health check, Hepton Bridge carries suspicious death, night cycle, personal videos. I might actually have to transfer them to the desktop as well, because some of them, a lot of them are from my Urbex videos. Let's check how much space is. 227 gigabytes. I can't really. Yeah, they've got just loads of stuff. There's audio, vehicular harassment en route to inside, reuse building, just all kinds of different evidence. Hikes to be hikes. So these are the hikes that I'm working on currently. All these, that is where I'm up to in each video at 0 hours 41 minutes. So these are videos that range from anywhere between about an hour to 6 hours. I work on each video in sequence. I'll gnaw away at that one at the top. I always take from the top, so I'll gnaw away about, if I work through 15 minutes of that, it'll go to 56. It'll fall further down the list, and I'll come across it again eventually when I work through all these. So now the next one along would be Elk Mountain. Work through that. Work through about 20 minutes of that. 55 minutes will be the next time I see it. It should be somewhere further down here, and so on and so forth. So those are for my ancient research. So the ancient folder is 2.72 terabytes. I thought it was more than that, but that's still quite considerable. So it's we're approaching the end of January 2024. Stuff happened last year. Some really, really fucked up stuff. So if we go all the way back to to 2022, Christmas 2022, I hadn't yet conceived my channel. I knew that I was eventually going to create a channel for all my evidence, but I hadn't yet done that. I had not yet arrived at that point. So come January 2023, acquired or obtained permission from various people, from various sources on YouTube to use their material, which is to take screen captures, and in some cases they've allowed me and given me permission to use any passages of the video from their videos. We're talking like caving videos, hiking videos, Eric Hecker's channel, which is basically him talking about his experiences in Antarctica. And Eric Hecker's is the first, I would say, genuinely, not, I don't know if he's a target individual, but I don't think he'd consider himself to be a target individual, but that what he has to relate regarding the nefarious stuff that goes on around the world is very, very important. So he's a very, very intellectual, knowledgeable guy, and I thought, well, you know, this is the first channel I really have come across where the information is too good to not use in some way, so and tie it in with my own evidence. So I asked permission from Eric to edit his videos. This is before 2023 came around, and he said, yeah, do that if you want, that's fine. So I started in either late January, February, I started editing. I set about editing Eric's videos one by one, and eventually I edited through 39 videos, and they are the videos that are currently on my Targeted World channel. So I hadn't yet put any of my videos up. The first thing I did when I got the channel set up was to start editing Eric's videos and then upload them in edited form onto my channel. So there was 39 videos. Now in 2 or 3 of them videos, Eric was talking about a heart attack weapon, and basically it's just him either talking on a solo podcast or talking with another guy. I think it was John Warner the Fourth. His father was quite high profile in the US Navy in I think around the 60s, 70s. So this isn't just some stranger off the street. This is a guy who's got some credential. This John Warner guy who he has contact with. So it was just him talking to John Warner the Fourth on a podcast of his own, Eric Hecker's, and he had him guest on the podcast. And they were basically discussing, at one point Eric talked, I don't think they discussed the heart attack weapon, I think they quickly moved on to something else, but Eric mentioned the heart attack weapon, and then they didn't really continue talking about it, but Eric dropped that in that conversation. But then there was another solo podcast where Eric was actually mentioning that it is real, this heart attack weapon, and it is used. So that was what I edited. That was one of the final videos I edited around February. Now, next month on, so what I need to mention is that while I was editing those videos, and particularly that video about the heart attack, I was being targeted, so response targeted. So while I was editing the material, especially when the mention of the heart attack was mentioned, and then I was inserting it and editing it into my abbreviated version of his video that I was going to put up on my channel, and that became very clear to whoever was watching at that stage. So they were quite savvy as to what I was up to. So I was being targeted from that point on quite heavily, quite frequently. And as soon as I started editing the final few videos, the targeting became quite nasty and very frequent and very, very blatant responsive. So I finally got everything put up on my channel. I think by the time we arrived at February 2023, everything was up on the channel, and I had 39 videos posted up for people to view. No comments or anything. I shut off the comments. I wasn't interested in that. I just want my mission is just to basically get information out there for people, because a lot of people just clearly are not aware of what is going on, and that goes for my own experiences as well. I want to get my experiences out there and let people know what I'm experiencing on a daily basis and what's going on. I have my side of the story that I need to get out, and I never had the opportunity to do that ever at any point. So I'm going to get my side of the story out, and I'm going to explain a few things and hopefully set things a little bit straight, because I think that's needed. So yeah, everything was uploaded by I think the start of March. Maybe I continued into March, and when I'd finished that, I suddenly, one day I got the impulse to contact my cousin Kerry, who I'd not spoken to in any way, whether it's phone calls, seeing in person, Facebook. I've not spoken to him, and the last time I spoke to him was the last exchange we had was 3 years previous on Facebook. But on that particular day, after I'd finished uploading the videos, I got the impulse to contact my cousin Kerry, and I just left a plain and simple hello, or as a message, nothing more than that, just a simple hello, waiting for a response. I think I got a response 10 minutes later from him, and he said, "Hello, Stephen. I was only thinking about you earlier," which I presume, but in saying that he meant he was only thinking about me earlier in the day. When he said earlier, because that's what he said. That's the message I got, and I've took screenshots of the conversation, so that's in a video that's going to be posted up and uploaded. If it's not been already, I'm not sure. I can't remember if I've done that already. I think I might have, actually. I think that's viewable on YouTube. The conversation we had. Yeah, that was his first response to my simple hello. Was 10 minutes later. "Hello, Stephen. I was only thinking about you earlier," which I presume was meaning earlier in the day. Maybe just like hours before, maybe less. So we chatted, and then suddenly he drops it on me that he's had 4 heart attacks, and this is something I never ever knew about. He said, "I've had 4 heart attacks," and at the moment that message came through, that he meant that of him mentioning the heart attacks on Facebook during this conversation, this initial conversation, our first contact without any contact for 3 years. As soon as he drops that on me, that message appears on my screen. It comes through to my screen, and I'm reading it. I'm getting targeted to the heart. And from that moment onwards, for several months after, the targeting never stopped. It was incessant. From the moment I began to talk to Kerry in that particular conversation in March, just a couple of weeks after I'd uploaded the videos from Eric Hecker onto my Targeted World channel. So the targeting just dramatically increased. That's not to say I wasn't being targeted. I've been targeted for many years, but as soon as that message came through, the targeting stepped up dramatically, and it was nasty and downright evil targeting. Potent, at times very potent, and at times resembling heart attacks. In a fraction of a second, then instantly dissipated. This is a weapon, and I then started suspecting that this is what they did to Kerry. So in that initial conversation, I actually mentioned that, yeah, I'll go and cycle up to your house later this evening, and eventually we decided against that because I checked my bike battery and it wasn't fully charged up, so it would have meant waiting around for a couple more hours, delaying, and by that time it was basically nightfall. So I said, well, there's no point. We'll cancel that idea. Bought that idea. Why don't you come up to my house for the cup final, which was Man City, Man United, for the FA Cup final, and we'll watch that together. He said, yeah, okay, we'll do that. We agreed on doing that, and then also asked him if he then mentioned his mobility scooter, and I said, how fast does it go? Would you be able to use that on the canal? Would you be able to actually ride that on the canal, along the canal? And he said, yeah, I should be able to do that. I said, how fast does it go? He says, it goes at a fair rate. I said, okay, well, why don't we watch the FA Cup final and then also meet up and do a cycle along the canal all the way up to Sowerby Bridge? It's just quite a considerable journey. So we were kind of planning on just planning around those two things. Was one, the FA Cup final, which was in about 3 or 4 weeks from that point, and then also at some point also meeting up to do a cycle along the canal to Sowerby Bridge. I'm not sure how far it is, but it's quite a distance. So he said, okay, yeah, I'm off to Birmingham tomorrow. So once we'd agreed on doing that, he said, I'm off to Birmingham tomorrow. I said, what are you going to Birmingham for? He said, I'm going viewing a car. He says, I'm buying a Porsche 911. I said, are you joking? He says, no, I'm buying it with my inheritance. I said, how much is that going to cost you? He said, it's going to be about 20 grand. He let it drop that he was getting around 20 to 25 grand inheritance from the sale of his mother's house. So he was coming into some money. And it sounded to me like he'd been waiting a while for that money because his mother had died a couple of years before that, and he'd not. I don't know when the house was sold, so it might be that the house was only recently sold, so and someone had been living in it and occupying it in the family. I don't know the details of that, but eventually the house was sold, and Kerry and his other remaining surviving two sisters, because the one had died, his younger sister. There's two older sisters, and then he's got his younger sister, and she died at age 50. Kerry died age 50, and the year that I had a conversation with Kerry was I was approaching my 50th birthday, which is significant because of what happened, what followed on from what I'm going to talk about now. So Kerry went to view this car, knowing that he was going to be coming into some money, some considerable amount of money, and he was very, very intent on buying this car. I said, well, do you really seriously want to put all your money into just to a car? Because they depreciate. So I thought, well, it doesn't make much sense. So he thought, yeah, it's just something I want to do. Dad'd be really chuffed if he was still alive. Still alive today to see me driving this around. So he was excited. He was very optimistic about buying this car and very excited about it by the sounds of it. It was his money, so it's up to him what he wants to do with it. So that's what he wanted to do with it. So I thought, fair enough. I'm not going to try and sort you out of it. If that's what you want to do, then that's what you want to do. Said, oh, so yeah, I said, well, let me know how you get on tomorrow in Birmingham, and we'll just carry on chatting. So the next day comes along. I asked him. He didn't get in touch with me. I contacted him and said, how did Birmingham go? He says, oh well, I turned up. He said, I turned up, but the guy didn't. Who was supposed to meet. So he showed up in Birmingham, went all the way to Birmingham. Nobody turned up. Wasted journey for him, and he came all the way back home. So he sounded a bit annoyed about that, and that was pretty much it. So that was the last he ever messaged me. That was that he showed up for that viewing. I think he was going to view the 911 Porsche, and he never got to see it, and he came straight back home, and that was the last I heard from Kerry. So in the days that followed, the day after, I tried contacting him. I was thinking about his inheritance and everything that was going on, and what he told me about the heart attacks, and I actually was thinking, well, this is really weird that suddenly he has all these heart attacks around this just after his mother dies, and in the space of a couple of years he's had 4 heart attacks, and he's coming into this money at the same time. It sounds really fishy. So I left a message up to Kerry, and I posted this on my YouTube video. It's viewable on YouTube. And I asked him if he could give me details about the heart attacks, exactly when he had the heart attacks, and how long he'd been waiting for the inheritance. I don't think I actually asked how much he was going to get. I think I wanted to know. What I wanted to know was the dates of his heart attacks, the details, and also so I could get a good timeline of what had been going on, because I've not spoken to him for 3 years, so I didn't know any of this. I didn't know any of this had happened, so it was a bit of a shock to me to hear all this. And then the inheritance, how long he'd been waiting, so how long they kept him waiting for, and why had he not received it yet, when he was expecting to receive it. So yeah, those two things I actually messaged him and never got a response, so I just kept messaging him, never got any response. I thought he was being funny with me. I thought I'd said the wrong thing at some point during the conversation, which I didn't think that. I just assumed that might be the case, that he took something the wrong way, which is an easy thing to do when you're having conversations on Facebook, etc., which is why I try to stay away from Facebook. A lot of misinterpretations and misunderstandings can arise. So I thought maybe that's what's happened, is basically I've said the wrong thing somewhere along the line, and he just didn't want to talk to me, so I thought, okay, fair enough. So what had happened was he was not able to respond to my messages because just days after talking to him, he'd been taken ill and been taken into hospital care. He never came back out of hospital because he died from a heart attack in hospital. While in hospital care, he died. And I found this out only from a mutual cousin of ours on Facebook, where I tried to contact her, and she phoned me up and she said, can I phone you up? And I said, okay, fair enough. And then over the phone she said, did you not know Kerry died this morning? This is like 1 week after I first contacted him, after 3 years of no contact. Kerry was no longer alive. He died from a heart attack. Basically, 3 years, he sounded fine on the phone. He phoned me up during that first conversation. He spoke to me. His voice was a bit slurred, but he sounded really very optimistic and about the future and about the car, etc. And he was talking about his dog. He bought a new dog. A lot of stuff was going on, and I've already touched upon that in the video I posted onto YouTube, and I'm talking about the death of his mother, the death of his sister, the younger sister, that all happened, and the death of his father. So his father, his mother, and his younger sister all died within the space. I think it was 2 years. In the space of 2 years. Now, go back 3 years, and in a conversation, we were having a conversation, and he was telling me about how he'd been kicked out of the house from his mother, and he was living in his car, and he said it was a trauma of that experience that brought on the MS. So he said that was as a direct result of being made homeless, and the trauma of having to sleep in the car for I don't know how long, because I had no contact with him. This has all been going on during that period of no contact, so I had no idea about all this, that it was all going on. Kerry must have said something along the line, and then he got kicked out of the house, and he was made homeless. And he said his sister was also responsible for that happening in some way, but I don't know the details. So yeah, he was telling me one of the things he messaged me was, "They're both dead as far as I'm concerned. They're dead to me," he said. He said they're dead to me. So within about a year, they were literally both dead. Now Trina, his sister died first. She had sudden onset cancer and died within weeks of being diagnosed, and she was misdiagnosed, and the doctors didn't identify it, and the surviving sisters were pursuing that and following that, and basically saying, well, there was some serious neglect going on. She went to hospital many times and had tests, and they only eventually found that she had cancer, which seems very strange. So she died of cancer, and then the mother died straight after that, I think. His mother died not long after that. So you had the two people he was saying are dead to him are now literally dead to him. They're dead. They're no longer living, and that's within about a year in saying that. That's about 1 year that had elapsed, if that. I don't know the timelines. I can only be approximate, but roughly, yeah, within about a year, I would say they were both dead, and that's what he'd said to me in that conversation on Facebook. They're both dead to me. Within a year, they were dead. So very, very, very similar circumstances to me contacting Kerry after I edited the videos of Eric Hecker in which I mentioned that heart attack. I contacted Kerry for 3 years, for the first time in 3 years. Within a week, Kerry's dead. And I started getting targeted from that point all throughout the rest of that year, which was 2023. Targeting, as I've logged, was at times absolutely evil. So before I contact Kerry, if we just wind it back a little bit further again, while I was editing Eric Hecker's videos, still in the process of finishing off the final few videos, I had a bit of money, so I was quite flush. And so I went to the range store with someone. My support worker came with me, and we were just going to have a little browse around the range, and I was just seeing if there's anything I might like to buy. Well, we got through the entrance, and literally within a few minutes, he gets a phone call. So he says, "Can I just take this phone call?" I said, "Yeah, sure, go on." And I just carried on browsing around the shelves while he was having the conversation. I don't know who phoned him. I didn't know at that point anyway. But I could hear him off in the distance. It was sounded like his responses to what was being said to him on the other side of the phone, on the other end of the phone. He was like really, all right. So it sounded like a serious phone call. And then he walked over to me with still in the conversation that he was having with the phone in his hand. He says that it's the local health centre. They want to know if you can go in for a health check. I said, "Well, when?" I said, "Well, this afternoon." I said, what are you talking about? Why are they phoning you? Why are they phoning you to ask me to go through a health check that same day? What's so important that I have to go in for a health check suddenly? Why are they doing this through you? Why did they contact me? Well, it turned out that they didn't have my number, fair enough. But they're trying to phone me to see if I can go in for a health check. I'm not reporting any issues. You know, fair enough. If I have any issues, and then I'll go and see the doctor about it. But I'm fine at this stage. Nothing, no issues whatsoever. Everything's fine. Aside from the targeting that's going on every time I'm sat at my desktop editing videos for various hackers. And I'm sat right in front of the TV screen editing his videos. That was the only issues I was experiencing, the blatant responsive targeting. There's just a weird noise in the house, and it might be the cat, but I don't know what the hell that was. So I thought this a bit strange. I thought, well, even he thought it was strange. He said himself, just really weird. She sounded she sounded really concerned. That's what he said to me. He said she sounded really concerned. It's really weird, the conversation. I said, you don't say. It's very odd that the health centre would voluntarily call you to try and ask you to go in for a health check. And this, so I thought, this was around March time, I would say. I think it was 1 month, I think in April I contacted my cousin. So this was around March time when we were at this store and he got that call. So that was weird. Yeah, so at the start of 2023, started editing and uploading Eric Ecker's videos, having got permission from him, I think either at the start of the year or just late in the year preceding, around Christmas time. I think it was in the new year I got permission from him. And then I began editing the videos once I got that permission, and then started uploading them one by one as they were edited. So that took quite a while, maybe a couple of months. Somewhere between 4 and 8 weeks it took, maybe 5 and 8 weeks. So March rolled around, had a bit of money, went to this store, The Range, got the call from the local health centre while I was there, just literally gone through the entrance. Support worker got the call on his phone, and then he said, oh, they want you to go in for an appointment this afternoon. And then I said, well, just tell them I'm not going in this afternoon. So just tell them I'm fine. I'm just saying I feel fine. And if I feel the need to book an appointment, then I will do so later in the year or whenever. But at the moment I feel fine. I don't think it's necessary right now to go and have a health check. If I have any concerns myself, which is where you would expect the main concerns to be is from yourself, then if I feel it's necessary, then obviously I will go and see the doctor. But right now I feel actually really fine, so no need. So yeah, strange that they would call me and call my support worker and ask me to go in for an appointment that same afternoon, which is very unusual. Like, it's not, oh, book you in for next week, we've got an appointment this afternoon, we want you to go in. It's like, really? You want desperately to get me in there? Are you that desperate to get me in there? Why? So, yeah, put the phone down, and then, so, at the end of April, not long after, about a month later, I contacted my cousin, got the impulse to contact Kerry on Facebook. No contact for 3 years before that. Within a week, he's died. Literally 1 week, he's dead. I instantly, as soon as he tells me about the inheritance and then he tells me about all the heart attacks, it kind of connects with what I've been editing on Eric Hecker's videos and all that business, and how strange it should be that Kerry should die of a heart attack after just after, like, weeks after I've edited and uploaded with Eric Hecker's videos to my newly created YouTube channel, Targeted World. How strange. So yeah, I strongly do believe that Kerry would still be alive if I hadn't contacted him or even just created that channel, but I did, and I think Kerry was killed. So so the targeting started happening during that conversation and then continued on and on and on afterwards for almost the remainder of the year, and it's still continuing now. That was late April. I contacted him on the 5th. I think it was something like the 27th of April, I contacted him. By the 5th of March, he was dead. So I think it was between 7 or 8 days. Yeah, it might be just a little bit longer than a week, just over a week. Within that period of time, he was dead. After contacting him after 3 years of no contact. Suddenly he dies after I contact him. So, not long after that, I was sorting through some old boxes, storage boxes, and just throwing a load of shit out and clearing up a little bit. And I came across a organ donation form it was like a confirmation letter I received in which I had agreed to have certain body parts donated. So I'd agreed to that. I instantly got that and said, well, forget it. That's been cancelled right away. So I then sent an email that saying within a few minutes I started finding the email address, and I sent an email explaining that I want to cancel this right away with immediate effect, and I'm no longer interested in this agreement. I sent 2 separate emails, and to neither I got any response. So not long after that, a few days after, I cancelled the agreement over the phone, and then I received a confirmation letter of the cancellation of that original agreement dating back to 2010. Which is strangely when I started experiencing a lot of weird shit. So I'm sure there's no connection to that. From 2010 onwards, things really started getting weird as fuck in my life. So, before that it started getting weird, but from 2010 roughly onwards, it started getting even weirder. So that was cancelled in 2023, early on in 2023, about sometime around May. I think it was May. There was no longer an agreement to have any organ donations, and I received a confirmation letter for that. Then the targeting started increasing. As soon as I cancelled that, it increased even more, started getting really bad. It just continued throughout 2023, and it all started from the moment I started editing and uploading Eric Hecker's videos. Then increased dramatically when I contacted my cousin and he told me about the heart attacks. It increased even more, and then in 2022, absolutely fine, no issues. But there was targeting, but used to it because it'd been going on for years. And it was nothing like what happened in 2023 as soon as I started my targeted world channel. Instantly, things started increasing in terms of targeting, and they were going for my heart. And it just happened that I was editing material in which Eric Hecker was mentioning the heart attack video. And then just a couple months later, my cousin dies of a heart attack, having told me he's had 4 heart attacks. Dies within a week, and we contacted him after 3 years of no contact. So, and then cancel the organ donation. After that, I just crack on with my research. I don't edit any more videos of Eric Hackers, but I carry on with my research throughout the year. Targeting still continues, gets really bad, really aggressive targeting. Responsive, or in all cases responsive targeting. So I've kept logs of that, so around about 5 years I would say. I think it dates back to 2019, so yeah, roughly about 5 years of targeting. I think it's late 2019, so maybe 4 to 5 years, just over 4 years of targeting, but that's not how long the targeting has been going on. Kept a diary before I kept in any digital records of the targeting. It's just more convenient for me to keep digital records. Just open up the email, start typing, and I don't have to pick up a pen and find paper, go searching for paper, which is what I used to do. I used to literally go buying notepads in order to keep my diary and keep the logs going. So they started in 2006, and that continued all the way up to around 2018 in paper form. So I've got basically notes and reams of paper. Of diary notes and logs of attacks and targeting. So that dates all the way back to about 2006. I think before that, I think it was 2004 my diary started, but then from 2006, I think, 2005, 2006, not long after I started the diary, it soon transformed into becoming a log of targeting and weirdness that started going on in my life. So I rather than being a diary, which was initially intended to be, and I don't even know why I kept the diary, so even that is weird. So I'm not really the type to keep a diary. So to keep a diary to begin with is in itself quite a weird thing. I'm not the type of person to keep a diary. I've got better things to do over time. But literally, I was just basically had the diary by my side all the time and just picking up a pen every 5 minutes, jotting down stuff and basically car registrations that were harassing me, coming by the house and harassing. I mean, really aggressive harassment, vehicular harassment. This is raw, proper gang stalking. I'm talking about nothing like he's in a black car and he's in a black car and she's in a black car and they're in a black car and they're all conspiring. Nothing like that. I'm not poo-pooing anyone's accounts. I'm just saying it's not anything compared to what I'm experiencing. If that's all you're experiencing, then God, I'm so envious of you. If that is what the height of the targeting that you're going through right now, my God, I really am envious of you. So it's nothing like that. This is real accounts of proper targeting, proper gang stalking, and it's all logged in paper form and then digital form for the last 5 years, but in paper form from about 2003 when the diary started, and then that went all the way up to 2018. So 15 years in paper form and another 4 or 5 years just in digital form, all logs and accounts and diary notes